never seen.
Yo, what's up guys? Bill here, Classic Rock and Metal Review. Time to finally get to our review for Kiss Nashville 1984 Soundboard. It's a double CD, Lick It Up tour. You got the Vinnie, Vincent, Eric Carr lineup. Going strong after a little revitalization after the Creatures of the Night album and tour. They waste no time. They get right into the studio and then they get right back on the road. We're about midway through the tour for this. So if you guys are into bootlegs, deluxe editions, talking about them, this is your channel, Classic Rock and Metal Review. I would appreciate a like and subscribe. All right, guys. So, it's 2023. These guys unmasked 40 freaking years ago. What the hell? Hard to believe. I actually watched that live on MTV. I wasn't even a super Kiss fan, but it was kind of an event, you know. All right, like I said, there, right after Creatures of the Night. It seems like last year when that deluxe box set was even in the works, things started happening on the bootleg market from Kiss. You had 5 different releases from the Creatures tour, 6 different cities on 5 different CDs, right, or releases. Sioux City, one of them. I'll put a link up for this review that I did a little while back. By the way, the Super Deluxe Edition for Creatures, I just noticed the other day, it's down to about $207. Down from $280 or whatever it was. So if anyone's still interested, But we also got a couple of soundboards from the Lick It Up tour that came out in the last few months. Toronto also came out from Lick It Up. Didn't have Lick It Up on it, so that's why I bought Nashville. I had one more song. A couple from 85 and a couple shows from 86. All soundboards have all come out in the last 3 or 4 months from Kiss. This recording is from King Biscuit Flower Hour. They recorded it, later broadcasted. I don't know if it was the full show or an edited down version. Paul mentions this during the show. So that you get the standard King Biscuit recording. Really good quality. Maybe lacking a little of like stereo, like surround or anything. But I don't even know if that was capable of being recorded that way back then. It's a standard 1984 concert recording. What you get here. It sounds great. I don't hear any flubs or any tape errors or anything like that. There's no like DJ or anything on it. It's just the band. This is a double CD. I'll give you a quick look at the panel. We'll go over all the packaging at the end. But both CDs look the same. That's what you get. And I'll show you all the pictures at the end. We'll do like a review of the packaging. Overall impressions. Like I said, the sound's really good. I don't like the guitar sound Vinnie's got. It's doing that mid-80s thing with the whammy bar and whatever sound you want to call that, typical metal guitar by this time, which I kind of thought wasn't going to happen until maybe the following year or something. I didn't expect it to be here in January of 84. Nonetheless, it is. That's one thing. The other thing would be, as a drawback, that seems to be this up-tempo, push-to-pace kind of thing, which I guess really is how Kiss was live even in the 70s, but it just seems to be a little annoying here. I don't know, maybe I'm just like being overcritical. I don't know, because to be honest with you, I totally loved this and I was totally looking forward to this. No makeup and all. I didn't care about any of that. Obviously you're just listening to it anyway, so what's that matter? But it does disappoint me a little bit. I'll give you a review of the whole show and you can kind of maybe go check it out yourself at some point. But I'll just give you my feedback on it. But you get the classic Kiss intro. They're the best band in the world. Into Creatures of the Night from, still hanging in there from the last tour as an opener. Good version. Into Detroit Rock City. Another one that sounds good, but this is where you notice the tempo's just pushed a little bit. And Vinnie's just got that twangy guitar sound, man. He really does a lot of shredding here, too. Less bluesy, more just shred, and the guitar sound, not so much while he's playing the rhythms, but while he's soloing, you've got that piercy, loopy, goofy 80s guitar sound with the whammy bar going on, too. It's a little annoying to me, especially coming off of, last year's tour, where his guitar sounded like it was 1975 still, So that's there. After Detroit Rock City, another aspect of this that's a little over the top we're all used to Paul's, goofy little intros. But he's just a little even more over the top at this point. He has to tell the crowd about how, 10 days earlier or so on New Year's Eve, he did 12 shots in 10 seconds right before they do Cold Gin. So you have stuff like that happening too. Again, maybe this doesn't bother you at all. It's a little tongue-in-cheek prior. Now it's like you're rolling your eyes a little bit. Fits like a glove. Up-tempo, nothing special. Lick it up material. Firehouse sounds really good. Can't really complain about that one. A little up-tempo, but I think they kind of always did that song a little bit faster live. But it's, again, up-tempo. Actually go into Paul guitar solo. Now, I'm not sure what he's doing on stage because the crowd's going nuts, but his guitar solo sucks. It's not probably meant to be anything special, but it definitely is not. Paul's guitar solo has the crowd going wild, and it's one of the worst you ever heard. Into Gimme More, another lick it up number. Another up-tempo, number that just seems to be written to be played live, but it's really not that great of a song. That's just my opinion. Guys, I listened to this 4 times. I wanted to love this CD. But as you're probably already hearing, there's just a lot of little this and little that that's just not working for me. On to Vinnie's guitar solo. Pretty much a shred fest. Already told you about the sound of his guitar. He does end up evolving the solo into like a slow bluesy thing, and then with some like effects, almost like Jimmy Page style. And I'm actually interested at this point, but that only goes on for a minute or so. Goes back to some shredding, and then it sounds like Paul just stomps the guitar solo out by coming back on stage. And not sure if this is just me conjecturing or whatever, but Paul's had enough of the solo. Which, if you're not familiar, during the tour, Paul and Gene were getting fed up with the solos being too long, being too bluesy, which the solo was only bluesy for a minute before Vinnie started shredding again anyway, and then Paul comes out and ends it. So Vinnie was actually dismissed from the band during the tour. They couldn't find a replacement quick enough, so Vinnie ended up staying on for the rest of the tour anyway. So that's the end of the solo. Vinnie's solo, rather, goes into, lost my place here, into War Machine. This one sounds good. No complaints here. That actually goes into a bass solo where Gene actually plays a bass solo. He's not just spitting blood and thumping his bass with his, pinky. And then into I Love It Loud. So a nice Gene section here. Pretty cool. And the crowd really knows their part with the back and forth with the I Love It Loud. The intro with the hollering. Sounds cool. Then Paul does I Still Love You. I mean, there was never going to be a version as good as the one on Sioux City, in my eyes. I think this is the best thing I've ever heard Paul sing, ever. Vocals tear a new a-hole into that song live. Sioux City, Iowa. This one sounds, voice creaks a little bit here and there. Tough song to sing though, so I'm not taking much away from him. Pretty good version. Paul sounds good, if not as good as the last tour. That goes into a drum solo, which is cool, maybe 3-4 minutes. Into Young and Wasted, another new one from Look It Up. That's up-tempo and nothing special. So that's the third song on CD 1 that, in my opinion, from Lick It Up, are just fast and nothing special. Almost like just concert vehicles, like I said. So on to disc 2, CD 2. We can't start CD 2 without another Paul story, how he went to the doctors, and of course the nurse was so taken by him, she had to have his love gun. So, Love Gun, which actually sounds good once the stupid story's over. All Hell's Breaking Loose. Now here we finally get to some Lick It Up material that matters. This is a good song. I always liked it. I still don't own Lick It Up. I've heard it a bunch of times. I heard this song 20 times when it came out. I heard Lick It Up 50 times when it came out. I like both of those songs. All Hell's Breaking Loose sounds good here. I dig it. Black Diamond sounds great. It always does. And then Paul gets the crowd to chant the title of the new album before he plays Lick It Up, which was awesome. Then he comes out and they do a little tease thing here where I don't know if they're like picking on Peter or what the story is. Maybe there's an outside chance someone legitimately was shouting for Beth, but it just seems all a little too contrived. I could be wrong. But basically they poke fun at Beth. Gene tries singing it for a couple seconds. It is kind of funny, actually. But at the same time, I'm not sure where that all came from. Anyway, they basically say Beth sucks. On to Rock and Roll All Night, and that's the end of our show. It fades out to, I think, Steppenwolf playing in the background. So there you go. There's my report. If I have to give you like a synopsis of it, I think you kind of heard it along the way. Why don't I show you the packaging real quick? I already showed you the front cover a couple times. Only get the tray card, no little booklet inside the CD. So this is when you flip the cover over. Here you go. You got the inside of the tray card, and you know, this is maybe this is just another little aspect of it that's a little ridiculous. Gene wearing a sweatshirt or a long sleeved shirt that says Kiss on it. It's just wrong. I'm sorry. So that's the inside of the tray card. I already showed you the CD earlier, and I'll give you another good look at it. And they both look the same. The only difference, disc 1 and then disc 2. Pretty cool shot of the band on that one. In the back, in the back behind disc 2, you got another picture of the band. Now on this one, man, Gene looks rough. He looks like something in an alleyway in New York, and like, I don't know, not looking too good there. And then the back cover I already showed you a few times. Gene in his sweatshirt again, his Kiss sweatshirt. Sorry. Yeah, I think you can tell how I feel about this CD. There's just a little too much mid-80s stupidness going on here for my liking. Numbered sticker, if you're into that thing. Kind of cool, though. I like the numbered stickers are kind of cool. Just don't know what the hell to do with them. Anyway, that's pretty much the review. The pluses, I would say, if I have to try to find some pluses, high energy, up-tempo show. This lineup really gels together. It's a shame they just didn't last longer, and you know, the older stuff sounds pretty solid even if it's a little hair too fast. You still have 4 songs from Creatures of the Night, which is cool, and 5 from Lick It Up. If you're into Lick It Up, I guess that would be a plus for you. At the end of the show, I get a couple of songs that I like. I didn't care for the 3 on CD 1. Now the minuses would be 5 songs from Lick It Up, like I just said. Now, why Exciter wasn't in there, I don't know. That's a killer. I love that song. I mean, anything. Exciter would have replaced any of the first 3 songs. It would have been a better review for me. They did play that song on that tour, just not on this show, obviously. I guess if you were at the show and you were drunk, you didn't care. Vinnie's solo, the tone on it is pretty horrible. Paul's emceeing has raised you know, stoogeness to a new level. The King Biscuit Flower Hour edits are a little annoying, only that you lose the flow of the show because you feel like things are being sort of forced together a little more than they really were live. As you can see, all Soundboard recordings are not created equal. So it's basically just a party going on at this show is how you come away feeling. But unfortunately, it's a cliched mid-80s party, you know. It's hard to believe it's only 1 year after the Sioux City show. I mean, that's really kind of how I felt after I listened to this, or after I listened to Nashville. And listen, man, like I said, I listened to this 4 times. I kept going back thinking, it can't be as bad as I thought. It can't be as bad as I thought. It's not bad. It's just got multiple sort of things about it that just annoy me. Just enough to where this is probably going to go into the once every couple of years rotation. Creatures of the Night, or Sioux City, Iowa, rather. This one has been on the player about 5 times now. You know, 2 to review it, 3 more times just for fun. So this will be in every couple of months kind of thing. All right, guys, that'll do it for now. Kiss, Nashville 1984 Soundboard, Lick It Up tour, 40 years unmasked. What can you say, man? Eventually they figured it out, got the makeup back on. If not, the right guys in the band. But that'll do it for now. If you guys can like or subscribe, we talk bootlegs, concerts, music, horror, talk cool stuff. And sometimes we drink. Today, just water. All right, guys, catch you later.